Hey everybody, Namo here. It's Tuesday afternoon. I just got off work. I did a little bit of editing on the Too Long Didn't Read last night. Not all of it though. I didn't finish it. I was gonna do more on it today. Honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna have time, so it might not come out tomorrow on time. But right now, like I said, I just got home. My dad is on his way with a trailer load of dirt. We have this room in my parents' house that we call the crawl space. It's really just a cinder block room with a dirt floor that you can stand up in. But the dirt's never been leveled, so you got to watch your head when you walk through there because it's got concrete beams that run across the top of it. And if you're not careful, you're going to hit your head. And that's what happened to my dad. He bonked himself pretty good. He's got a pretty good sized gash on the top of his head. But he started digging out all the dirt. And since we got to put in a bunch of fill dirt here, he has nowhere to put it, so he asked me if I wanted it. So I was, yeah, sure, well, I'll take it. So he's gonna back the trailer up as far as the drain pipe for the sump pump for the cistern, because I don't like people driving over that. If I would avoid it at all possible, because I don't want to crush it and cause problems. So we're gonna back it up as far as we can. Right now, as I'm waiting on him, I'm gonna pull up these steps and get these rocks here kind of piled up somewhere else. And the little rocks that are right here that are pretty much useless, I'm gonna spread them out so that we can cover them. So I'm gonna get this area prepared while he's on his way here. Then he's gonna get here, we're gonna unload it. We gotta do it by hand, cause no skid steer, no dingo, no nothing, just shovels and wheelbarrows. So that's how he loaded it up. That's how we're going to unload it. So I got to get all this done, prepared. And then that'll be it. I'll give you whatever update I can. Probably not while it's happening, because it's just me and my dad. The kids are out with my mom doing some errand running for Christmas shoebox things for church. So they're out doing that. The show's working late, so it's just us. So yeah, no updates. I'll give you an update after everything's done, whenever I'm able to do it. So I need to get working on this right now before he gets here. So that's where I'm going to leave you. Just want to say thanks for joining in on the fun. And yeah, I'll try and get you more stuff as we go throughout the week with whatever I'm doing. I'll keep you updated. All right, so it's like 7:30, 7:45. So the sun's starting to go down. Got a pretty nice little sunset. But this is all the dirt we got unloaded. Set the steps back and these stepping stones that were right there with all these rocks on top of them. So we got this leveled out, and it's level across up until there where it starts grading off. And I've got it graded going that way down the yard. So that's a whole trailer load of dirt. You can see right here, it's about 2 inches, 3 inches. No, sorry. It's 4 inches of dirt just in that spot there. Tapers out to where it's level here. I'll still need to come through and kind of level this spot out because it is humped up higher. This dirt is actually level with the pool because it's going to be hard to see because it's getting dark. I should have done this earlier, but I sat down to eat and rest because this really killed my back, and wore me out. I cut through the little berm here to be level with the pool area, so that's all level, about the same. And of course, like I said, it grades out that way. But to make all this level, this berm starting here that follows the edge of the pool all the way around needs to be kicked down and just kind of leveled out. This spot needs to be graded a little bit. Excuse me, that's what getting a dingo would be good for right there. This we can all do with a shovel, because we got to get, like you can see from where I dug through this little trench, all that rock there. I'm going to add to that pile. Eventually I'm going to be putting rock around the fire pit, all that, as much as I can dig out, because they put rock all the way around this pool and it ends about right there. So that's all I need to level out with the shovel, sift out the rock, put the bad stuff over there, and then get a little dingo to grade that out, and possibly that spot behind the shed, because all this got graded with putting the pool in, but they left that spot, so it humps up and comes down, and it just, if I'm putting a woodshed in there, that needs to come out. So this was the whole trailer load that my dad brought today. He thinks he can grab another trailer load out of that compost, or out of that crawl space, and we'll be putting that out heading down the hill, kind of filling in where the steps are gonna go, because we need to get all that leveled out and graded. So then he has a huge compost pile, and it is full of compost at the moment. He said he wanted to get rid of it before he starts raking leaves and putting them in his compost bin. So he didn't want to put fresh leaves on top of good compost. So we talked about it, and if he can get another trailer load of dirt, we'll get that spread out here, and then we'll get as much of that compost. It's probably enough for a trailer load on top of all this dirt. And then he's got a little like mantis tiller. It's not much, but it'll do what we're wanting to do. We put the compost down on top of it, take the tiller, and just till the good compost into this fill dirt, and it should be good from then. And then it's just a little bit of leveling. It's not as much as I was thinking we needed to do now that we've got this in, because I was gonna have like a skid steer and just level all this out and try and fill everything in with everything from here. But now that we actually have dirt to fill this in and grade with, we're not gonna have to level out hardly any of this. Just, I mean, some, but not as much as I was expecting. So that's where we are right now. As you can see, it's getting dark, and you still need to go take a shower. Like I said, I sat down to rest at 8, and then Dark came on, AEW Dark, so we watched that, and it was quick. It finished up, so I came out here to close the gate and do a little VO. Now I gotta get the dogs out and then take a shower. So that's all I got for you right now. More updates to come throughout the week. Saturday morning. It's very, very chilly out here. I'm still just in the shirt, and I'm a little bit cold. Wind's blowing pretty good. I kind of had a headache, so this feels kind of good, but at the same time, it's a little too cold. I kind of feel like I want to put on a jacket, but here in a little bit, that will change, because I'll be doing some work that will warm me up. The yard does actually need to be mowed, but I'm not going to. With it getting into colder weather, colder mornings, colder evenings, Still hot and humid days. Things are starting to go dormant, so the grass is not growing as much. But but it's slowing down. It still needs to be mowed every now and then. I can get away now with mowing it every other weekend, so that should be fine. I'm not going to mow today because my dad is bringing over the next load of dirt. As you can see, it has rained and it has kind of leveled it. It's kind of sunk in. The dogs have been rolling in it. The dogs have been digging in it. And they've been bringing muddy footprints in the house. But it's the price you pay with, exposed dirt. So that second load's going to be coming in. We're going to be unloading it. And then I believe the plan is to get the remainder of his compost and throw it on top of all of the dirt that we put down, and then get his little mantis tiller and just kind of till that in. That way we've got this old dirt. My parents' house was built in like the 50s and 60s, so it's been 60, like a little over 60 years since this dirt has seen the light of day. Because like I said, it's in a room that we call the crawl space. It's just a dirt floor cellar kind of thing. And he's digging it out of there. He's digging it from underneath his deck. Just everywhere he needed dirt removed, that's where he's digging it up. He's got a trailer load and he's heading it on this way. So where it's been 6 decades since it's seen the light of day, it's probably lost a lot of its nutrients. So stirring in that compost, we'll be able to throw seed on it, and it should grow pretty well. So right now, before he gets here, I got to put the hose up on the porch. I got to move these plants. I've got to set this bird feeder, because I've got it put inside this railroad tie. I've got to set it off to the side because I've got the hummingbird vine growing up it, and I really don't want to rip that out just yet. So I got to set that somewhere off to the side. I got to move these plants, and then we got to move this railroad tie, because this next load is going to even this out right in here and just kind of taper off. Because this part right here isn't that bad. It doesn't need any fill. It's in the plant bed itself that needs the fill dirt. From where the water has washed, it's kind of made a little ravine. So that's the only thing that needs to be filled. That can be done some other time before I finish that bed. But right now we got to get this leveled up so we can build the steps, and then figuring out where the end of the steps is going to be, we can realign the railroad ties. Excuse me. I just ate breakfast, so I apologize. I'm a little bit gassy. We can realign the railroad ties at the edge of the steps, and then start pouring the sidewalk. So when it comes to the sidewalk, I'm going to every little bit buy a few bags of Quikrete, and I'm going to pour a square, and then let that dry, pour another square, let that dry, pour another square. And to keep down on the cost and the amount of Quikrete that I need, we've got this big pile of creek rock, flagstone, limestone, whatever you want to call it. It's creek rock. They're all flat. They're all huge. And I'll be setting them in the middle of each of these squares that I'll be making with the sidewalk. You don't want a continuous piece of concrete, because where we have winter and summer months that are vastly different in temperature, there is expansion and contraction of the concrete. That's why when you pour concrete, you'll see people leaving the little stress marks. Those are engineered to crack. That way, the entire square does not crack. It's just in that stress line. So if I pour it square by square, I don't have to build in the stress lines or the stress marks. It'll already be separate pieces. So expansion and contraction, they'll move, and it'll be like tectonic plates, moving back and forth. They'll rub against each other, they'll come up and down. Everything they need to do to keep from cracking and falling apart, but still expand and contract. The rock is more to take up space, so I don't have to get as much Quikrete, and to also give a little bit more of an aesthetic, because I will be having them laying on top. I do have this pile of smaller rocks that I'll be using kind of around to fill in, again, more for aesthetics, more to take up space. There was another pile of littler rocks that we actually spread out underneath this dirt, and I covered over. Honestly, it's been a few days, so I don't remember if I showed that when I did the first video on Tuesday, but we spread that out because I can't use those, and they need to go away, so we covered them up. So that is the plan today, to get this spread out, to get it leveled out, so that we could start working on putting in the front steps. Once the front steps are done, I can start working on moving the railroad ties to their permanent position, and then start pouring in the sidewalk, then start backfilling the plant bed itself so I can plant it hopefully next year, and then mulch it. That way we have a landscaped house. We have nothing around the house, and it's driving me insane. I need the landscaping around the house, and it's not there. It's nowhere near close to being ready. So hopefully I can get me a garden around the house next year. We will see though. Update on my roses. So here's the roses that I pulled out from work. The one that was buried to here. As you can see, it definitely needed to be well above. It was buried 4 inches too short. So that is one of the reasons why it wasn't doing any good. It's popping up and doing good. This one, it's flushing out. It's looking better, but it's still just this one little piece. I'm kind of hoping that more of it comes out. If not, then I'll just have to wait for this, because this one that it's on is not sturdy. It's not strong. So I gotta wait for this one to get bigger, so that maybe I can do a cutting and just get rid of all this together. This one that I did the cutting on, I grabbed it the other day and started pulling. Because it was just a straight stick that went in the ground, it should just come out easy, but it has resistance, meaning it rooted in. And you can also tell that it rooted in because it's getting new growth. Some of these are dying off, which I expected, so I'll clip them off once they are. Focus on this, please. No, on this. Hey, focus. There we go. Okay. Like I was saying, some of these are dying off, so I'll clip them off. But I won't do that till spring, because I'll let it grow. I'll let it overwinter. And then in spring, like with all the other roses, I'll cut off all the dead that doesn't flush out in the spring. So yeah, put the dirt down today, get that graded out and leveled. We'll see about even cleaning out the shed somehow. I don't think the woodshed is going to be a project this year. We'll see, but I mean, I can always just set out the pallets and then put all the wood on top of that and let it overwinter and get weathered and everything, so it will be good for burning next year. But I still need to clean out the shed for sure, because like the hand that's holding the camera right now is probably going to be stuck in the position like this, holding the camera for a while, because it is frozen. It's cold. I've lost the feeling in my fingers. So I need to go inside and warm up. But my point is, it's getting cold. It's getting cold overnight. It's getting cold in the morning. It is the middle of October, and soon we'll be getting frost. And once frost hits my potted plants, their chances of surviving the winter drop drastically. So I need to get them inside the shed and overwintered, prepared for the winter before the first frost hits. So I definitely need to clear out my shed today for sure. So that is what I'll be doing. And as always, we will update you along the way. All right. First off, you probably can tell the wind is picking up a lot. And it is still freezing cold. But this is all the dirt we spread the other day. You can see where it ended, because this got rained on. This is what we just spread, and you can tell it's dry. Again, it hasn't seen the light of day in who knows how long, but that's all down. I've graded it out. It's so much smoother now. The slope is so much better, and I'm not sure it translates too well on the camera, but I'm so happy with it right now. So my dad has left with my oldest son, and they're gonna go dig up my dad's compost pile while I finish grading that out and start clearing out the shed. That way I'm doing something while they're gone, not just sitting around waiting. They're gonna come back with that load of compost. Like I said, we're gonna spread it over top of all this. We're going to use this little Mantis tiller to till it all in, and then regrade, and we should be good. I should be able to move that railroad tie and all my plants and everything back where they go, at least where they go for now. And then next step is to start digging the post holes for the steps, buy some stringers, and start building the steps. That way we've got proper permanent steps. Not these crappy, shallow, wobbly ones that they built when they repossessed the house. They built these temporary off of like all the pieces that had fallen off the deck, and it's wobbly, it's not sturdy. Of course, I got it just sitting on top of the dirt, so it's sinking. So we can finally get rid of that thing when we build the new steps. So yeah, the wind has really started picking up even more. I had to put on a jacket because it got really cold. But let me show you just what we've done so far. I just got a text from my dad that him and my son are on their way back, that load of compost. So I'll show you what I did while they were gone, and then we'll get that spread and tilled in, and then I'll give you an update after that. Alright, so I pulled everything out of the shed. These are all the pots that were around the back of the house under the deck, so I'm going to get them organized and put inside. We're going to get all the rest of this organized and put inside. But around here at the back, I laid out all these pallets so everything's not laying right on the ground. But I put the pieces of plywood up against the fence, more to dry out because there was already water damage on them, but laying on the ground they're going to get worse. So set them up so that they could have the air flowing at all times. That way they can dry out. The fungus and everything that's making them decay can dry up and die out. But I put down 2 pallets right here behind the shed. I've got the larger diameter, the middle diameter, and the smaller diameter here. And then I got the big logs laid up against these 2x10s. I also moved the tires further down since we were able to get some room up, because it's been kind of hard getting the mower in through here to mow. You can kind of see some of the tire marks. I keep hitting that piece sticking out, so I'm going to have to chop it off just to make the mower easier, more accessible to get through. Because you can see right there, the mower's been knocking a lot of the rocks over. So it doesn't seem like much, but it has been a lot. It's taken a lot to sort all that out, move it around, get everything. I still got a lot of sorting to do. There's a lot of pots, so I got to get them sorted, get them stacked up in the shed nice and neat. That way I've got room to put everything back and put my plants in when it's time. So like I said, they're on their way, so we're going to get that done. Right now I'm going to work on getting these pots together while they're on their way, get them in the shop or in the shed, and then again we'll give you updates. Like I said before, I got all the pots except for these decorative ones out from underneath the deck back here. So this will need to be reorganized itself. There's on my potting soil everything I need to make the potting soil that I use, because I use compost and the potting soil and mix it all together so that it's nice, good, healthy, usable soil for the pots that everything grows in, everything happy with. So I've got to figure something out about this hose, because I tried to hang it up on that, but apparently the anchor that they used is not strong enough and it keeps falling out. So yeah, get that up and out of the way at some point. It's about to be winter, meaning I got to remove it anyways. Once we start getting frost, that's got to come out so it doesn't freeze. So I got to get all this better organized, looking better. Just an update on the little vine that I put in back here. It has grown all the way up to the deck. I'm trying to train it up onto the lattice, but it's not long enough yet. Let it grow a little bit more, hook it to the lattice, let it take over. But it's flowering, so that's good. So now we're back up here at the front of the house. I had to take my daughter to a birthday party. While I was gone, my dad had showed up with that load of compost. He said he was bored and tired of waiting, so he unloaded it. He used his tiller and he smoothed it out, and by the time I got home, he was done. So I apologized to him. He said, everything's fine, like a typical dad. But I didn't do any of this. He did. Probably why it looks really good. We did kind of walk, like this over all of it to try and stomp it down a little bit, because I don't have a roller. So you do what you got, you do what you can with what you got, and that's what we did. Also tried to use the rain head on my water hose to wet it all down so it naturally compacts, but there's not enough water pressure in the barrels to come out of the rain head good. It just kind of trickles. So I've wet it down, but it's not completely sprayed. So I'm gonna have to get the hose out back if I want to and give this a good soak to compress itself. With the dogs continuing to run out and sniff this thing, I don't want to soak it, so I might just leave it as is. Here in the shed, I got everything put back. So there's all my outdoor pots. There's the box of scraps for kindling, the hay bale that I'm going to use for the plants that go right here. I'm going to get rid of this, or at least find somewhere else to move it so my plants can go over here in this corner. I've got my hoses and my wheelbarrow. I've got all my tools set up here, and then everything else packed away. It looks a lot better, a lot more organized, and a lot happier with it. So that's been it for the day, and I believe that's going to be it for the week. I didn't do as much with my dad, or as my dad did, but my back is still screaming at me, so I'm just probably going to take tomorrow off as I just edit stuff and rest up and get my back feeling better, my legs feeling better. But that's going to be it for this vlog. We got a really weird mushroom in the yard I can show you. So there's our shed, and a little bit in front of it is this mushroom. And it's got a bunch of little ones coming up beside it. We did one of those Google Lens identification things. It said it's like a chicken of the forest. It's kind of a weird name, but apparently it is edible, and you can cook it, and it's like a chicken breast. Tastes like it, eats like it. Just kind of interesting, but I'm not brave enough to cut it up and cook it. But like I said, that's it. That's all I got for you. I'm gonna take the rest of the day after I shower. Just kind of easy editing. Same thing tomorrow, editing. Just getting everything ready for next week. As you're watching this, everything's already came out, but still, you know what I mean. So, as always, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. My handles are at the very end in the outro. My links are in the description. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell because I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You hit the notification bell, it'll notify you as soon as everything comes up so you can stay up to date with everything I post. So, until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.